Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. Hope everyone's doing well. For this video, I want to do a quick one. I want to jump on the thread, Know Your Collection. I think it was started by Merciful Metal. I watched Metal Marty Mac's video this past weekend. I watched George for George R's Room of Rock. And I watched Metal Mickey. I watched all those videos this weekend. Just thought the thread was really cool. It was called Know Your Collection, and it's basically designed to get you to listen to albums in your collection that you hadn't really listened to in a long time. So I thought it was really cool. It's 3 questions, not going to be a long video or anything like that. But so the first question is, what's an album you've been listening to a lot lately? Well, there's a couple of them. And number 1 is my favorite Megadeth record, So Far, So Good, So What. Had a birthday last week. And I didn't do a video on this album when a record that I really love has an anniversary. I kind of tend to do a video just on that record, kind of tell why I like it so much, what made it stand out to me, and maybe tell a story that, you know, if I listen to it, it reminds me of something that happened in my life. But I got real busy the last few weeks, and I was sick all last week with the flu, so no video for me. But Megadeth, So Far, So Good, So What, my all-time favorite Megadeth record for a number of reasons, and maybe I'll do that video because it's kind of cool how I got into this one and how it became my favorite Megadeth album. But maybe I'll do a video on that maybe next week or something like that. But anyway, Megadeth, So Far, So Good, So What, I've been listening to it ever since it had, I've been listening to it all the time, but I listened to it ever since it had its anniversary last week. And then, you know, I'm sure you guys heard the news from Exodus. Steve Zetro Souza is no longer with the band. They parted ways. I didn't really see a reason why, but they brought back Rob Dukes, which I'm a big fan of Dukes as well. But I loved Zetro. I thought he was super cool. He was the vocalist last 2 times I saw them. And just this past fall, when they were playing the show, he actually, you know, between songs, you know, the between song banter, he just mentioned how he loves doing the songs from the eras of the band in which he was not a member of the band. You know, and he mentioned specifically Dukes being one of his favorite vocalists, and they did a couple songs from the Dukes era. And now Dukes is back with the band, and an album I just got in not too long ago, Exodus's Exhibit B, The Human Condition. This is a gatefold, really, really sharp-looking gatefold. There's the, show you the records here. But I really like this one. This is probably my favorite album from the Dukes era. And I just love the sound. Pretty cool gold-colored vinyl. I think some of the songs might not fly today. Mainly the one about school shootings, which is a great tune. But, you know, I don't, you know, they're obviously not glorifying school shootings. They're just kind of telling the story. But I think that might be frowned upon right now, I guess. But the Ballad of Leonard and Charles, one of my all-time favorite Exodus tunes. I think the thing is flawless. Absolutely love the middle section on this song with the gang vocals and everything like that. I like, they do a lot of gang vocals with Dukes for some reason, but I really dig this album, Exodus, Exhibit B, The Human Condition. So those are the 2 albums I've been listening to a lot lately. So the next one is show 2 records that you haven't listened to in like a year or so. So the first one is Amon Mars, Jom's Vikings. Love this record. Front to back, it's just an awesome record. But I really feel that this is their last really good one. I thought Berserker was okay, and I don't even think I've listened to the latest one. But this one's a really good album. Like I said, front to back, there's not a skippable track on the thing. Just melodic Swedish death metal at its finest right here. Just really good stuff. Just, you know, if you're a Amon Amarth fan, you're going to like this album. But I just think it's the last really good one that they put out. And I haven't listened to this one in a really long time until today. Before I do this video, I was given to listen. Just really loved the record. Back on Northern Shores, just such a great song. Epic, you know, storytelling. Just the whole album is like that, really. So really dig this record. Really dig the band. But kind of falling off with them a little bit as the last couple albums were released. The next one is a record haven't listened to in longer than a year, but absolutely love it. It's Iced Earth's The Glorious Burden. This is the 2 CD set with the Gettysburg Trilogy on it. Right there, and then the booklet. Just phenomenal. I may have mentioned before, I have a master's degree in military history, and for, you know, the history buff in me, just love this record. The first CD, just a lot, you know, all just the original stuff about, you know, different battles in history. It's pretty cool. You know, songs like Waterloo, Valley Forge, Declaration Day is pretty cool. Green Face, you know, is kind of cheesy but cool. Good album, but the thing, you know, the price of the record right here is the Glorious Burden, the Gettysburg trilogy. It's 3 songs. It's The Devil to Pay, Hold at All Costs, and High Water Mark. Just epic songs, just about a half an hour worth of music in those 3 tunes. And when I was listening to it today, just the storytelling of the Battle of Gettysburg, the 3 days, each song is one of the days, and they kind of, it starts out like, you know, one of the commanders kind of telling their story, and then it kind of gets into like an all kind of encompassing narrative. Just Tim Ripper Owens at his finest on this thing, doing his best, you know, Rob Halford impression on these songs. It's great stuff. But listening to it today, man, like I said, I'm a history buff. Listening to the lyrics and the story about this battle, you know, an epic battle in American history, you just got the goosebumps on my arm and everything. But really, really cool stuff. The Glorious Burden Gettysburg trilogy on disc 2. Awesome stuff. I don't know why it's been so long since I've listened to it. It's just really good stuff. So give it a listen. And then the next one, the next question is, name a couple of albums. I'm going to do 3 because it's 1, 2, 3 questions. 3 albums I haven't listened to in a really long time. Kind of forgot about them. I mean, forgot what they sound like. So the first one is Rob Zombie's The Sinister Urge, and this is the only album I own of Rob Zombie. I've got some blank CDs that are kind of copied over, but it's the only actual CD I own, and I'm a big Rob Zombie fan. I love it. He's from Massachusetts like me, growing up when he was playing almost every Ozfest. You know, it was super cool that a dude was from Massachusetts, was like hitting it big with the music, and then obviously the movies. I tend to think his movies are cooler than the music, but I do like the music as well. Not a big fan of some of his later stuff. This is probably the last album that I got into, but I haven't listened to this album in a really, really long time. But if I'm listening to Spotify and something comes up with one of his songs, I'm not going to skip it. They're good tunes. I just haven't listened to it forever, but, you know, cool stuff. Another band, I really like this band, but I kind of got off the ride maybe the last 2 to 3 records when there's been a lot of turnover in the band. It's Lamb of God, and I chose the Sacrament record because this is probably my favorite Lamb of God album. This is a record that came out, you know, not too long after I moved to Georgia. So I started seeing these guys a lot in the area, especially at the Masquerade in Atlanta. But I just really haven't listened to it in a really long time. And, you know, not that I'm not a fan of the band, but like I said, just not really into some of the last handful of records that they put out. And then the last one is going to be Slipknot. Again, just like Lamb of God and Rob Zombie. Fan of the band. This album, you know, as they've put out records, this one kind of drops down in my Slipknot ranking. I don't really listen to this album at all anymore. In fact, I don't really listen to Slipknot very much at all anymore as a whole. But if I had to say, you know, there's maybe 3 or 4 records the band has done since this that I think are just by far better albums. So if I'm going to listen to them, I'll probably go to those records. But this is their, I guess you'd call it their debut Barcode album. I know they put out Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, but I think it's just like an EP. You know, cool record, some great stuff. This is what got me into the band. Just don't really feel the need to listen to Slipknot anymore. But, you know, in the spirit of the video, in the thread, I listened to it today. You know, it still kicks ass, got me headbanging. I'm just not really into listening to them that much anymore. So there you guys have it. Those are my questions and answers and responses for Know Your Collection. Kind of glad I jumped on this because I got to listen yesterday and then today a lot of these records to kind of get back into them. And, you know, there was so many albums I could have chosen for the last 2 questions, which is going to, you know, inspire me to go back and listen to other bands as well that I just haven't listened to in a long time. So anyway, there you have it. Appreciate you guys checking out the channel, and I'll do another video here for you guys very soon. Cheers, everybody. Have a great night.